everybody? Welcome. If you can hear me well, put the LUs in the chat. We got a legend in the building today, y'all. Let's go. So when we get everybody up in here on this live, we just gonna send out to the smooth sounds of this instrumental. Feel that. LU in the chat. Let's go. I love it. I almost feel like I want to make my own song up here. You know, snapping the fingers and everything. You see what they said, John. All right. Can y'all hear me well? Thumbs up, John. Can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you.
Cool. I appreciate everybody joining us live right now. Listen, welcome to this session right here. That's going to be a powerful session right here. Mentorship matters, right? Empowering tech journeys. I have a legend here that a lot of you may know, right? It's a DevOps mercenary, right? He is an author as well, right? And he's a mentor. Some of your favorite mentors, right? Some of your favorite. I know people from Level Up in Tech has talked to this gentleman as well, and I want to introduce y'all to the king of mentors out here. He's been giving value on LinkedIn, and we just soaking it up every single day. And we want to appreciate this gentleman coming on. But we want to listen. Put the JFs in the chat right now for my man John Fahl. What's up, John? Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, yeah, it's an honor, man. And, you know, I want to make sure that we use this time to just lay out the gems for people. I don't see the JFs in the chat, y'all. Y'all better y'all know what time it is with me. Put the JF. We're going to welcome this guest, you know, because I know a lot of y'all is in this man's inbox every single day asking questions. And here we're going to answer some of those questions, okay? So we're just going to kick it off. We're going to start off by giving those gems and getting some of your background, John. So can you share a bit about your diverse background in tech and really from working in the defense companies to leading DevOps teams? And how have these things or these experiences shaped your perspective on your career now?
So that's a great question. I will tell you that I've not seen everything, but I've seen a lot. I've worked as a defense contractor. I'm former military. I work directly for the government in 2 different agencies. I've worked for big corporations. I've worked for startups. I've started startups. I've worked for consultancies, and I've run my own consultancy. So I've seen big teams, small teams, really dysfunctional places, horrible managers, great leaders. I've kind of seen a lot of it all. And I've also been through the transition that many of you have taken. I was originally, a Windows and systems administrator who kind of crossed the bridge over into DevOps and realized how difficult that was. And it was scary for me to do that at the time. And I can get a lot of that sentiment when I'm talking to different folks when they're having a hard time adopting all the new technology and moving over as well. So I have a lot of empathy and understanding of what you're going through. And since I've seen and experienced so much, I can generally bring enough of a reality and just my experience and exposure to people to help them kind of where they're at to keep moving. That's the best way I could put it, because once you've been around the block a few times, if you know what I mean, you can kind of see the situation for what it is and give people what they need to hear and not just the same blanket statements.
No, I totally agree, because one thing I always say is, for me and my perspective, is like the tech can be learned, right? It's the mental It's the mindset that you need to change. That's a challenge for a lot of people, right? That whether it's learning things a new way and getting out of their own way, because that's what we normally see, where the even just anxiety for people starting and learning new things can cause a person to just stop in the middle of the journey, because now imposter syndrome kicks in. Now they feel like they're not good enough. Now they face a challenge they can't solve, and they just say, oh, I knew I wasn't good enough for this. I just might as well stop because I'm never going to fix it. And it's all about what we say to ourselves and what we think about ourselves moving forward. This is a tough journey. However, with the right mindset, positive affirmations, I think we can will our way through, and just understand that in tech, it's not about knowing everything. It's just about figuring out your process of how you solve problems. And that's really
Absolutely.
what I think, yeah. So now, many individuals in the tech industry, they face doubt, as we just talked about. They face uncertainty about the career path, and they feel overwhelmed. So based on your interactions, especially with LUIT guests, Level Up the Tech guests, and people on LinkedIn, and with your own experiences, what are some common challenges that you feel they encounter, and how can mentorship really play a role in overcoming it?
So the big one, you've hit a couple already. You've hit imposter syndrome. You've hit how overwhelming it could be, which creates anxiety and doubt. People can make mistakes or not know something and start to backpedal. These all happen, but one of the most common things I hear from the Level Up and Tech folks, and just people I talk to in general, from junior to senior folks, is the overwhelming concept to boil the ocean. This is something that everybody goes through. And when I talk to folks who are concerned of, I need to learn this and this and this, and I need to get good at that, and how do I differentiate myself, and I need to learn all these different things, it's real easy to get swallowed into that mess. So one thing I will tell you is, I generally tell everybody, learn what you need to know today. It's all these skills that you're learning are really valuable, whether it's learning Linux or Docker or Kubernetes or AWS services or GCP services. They're all helpful. They're all good, but you can't get wrapped around the axe handle thinking, I need to learn all of them right now. Because I'm telling you that's just a very good way to burn yourself out. As you get into more career positions and you start learning new things, it's all going to get easier. Not because you learn and memorize everything, but as you start working with observability tools or infrastructure as code tools, and you start using different ones, you're going to find similarities. You're going to start getting used to how things work, and you're just going to build confidence over time. And the best way to learn something is to manage it, from development to production, right? Or manage it in a project that means something to you or your company or your team. It's getting those experiences and learning what you need to know today to build those layers of your skill set. Trying to learn everything before you start or before you get moving, I just think that's the wrong way to do it. So I always recommend folks, don't boil the ocean, don't eat the whole wheel of cheese, all that sort of stuff. Really just pace yourself, be reasonable with what you need to learn, and just take advantage when you have opportunities to learn new things.
Yeah, I totally agree, right? One day at a time, right? And this is exactly what we see as well, right? Where even with that, just the thought of learning all these things, once again, right, can be a roadblock, right? Just like, oh, I have to learn all these things, and they feel like they have to learn it all at once. And now they're just overwhelmed by the thing they're learning now. But instead of just focusing on chipping this away day by day, they're thinking about the other things that are coming next, because they're thinking, if I'm having anxiety about this right here, then I'm definitely not going to get what's coming next. And that's absolutely not true if you just stay consistent and disciplined and chipping away every single day. And this is common too. I want to just piggyback off of what you just said. one thing I've always seen, even when I started getting into cloud and I got my first role and people were coming to me on LinkedIn, was people would come to you for some advice and they're learning, let's say, a certain technology, and they'll come to you for advice, but they'll go to 99 other people for the same type of advice. And now they got 99 different answers. And now they're trying to do 99 different things to conquer just one particular thing that they're trying to learn. And that leads to the burnout as well, right? Because they're taking in so much information, they're feeling overwhelmed. And now they're just trying to, somebody said, oh, let's say you're working on just landing your AWS solutions architect associate, certification. You're just trying to get the fundamentals. But somebody said, oh man, if you just learn Python, I could probably get you a job working where I work right now. Now, automatically, your mind switched to Python. Well, I got to work. Oh, because he said he'd give me a job. Now you're trying to learn Python. Somebody said, hey, man, Kubernetes is hot right now. That's what you need to learn right now because that's what companies are hiring. And that's the only reason you're going to get a job. Now you got AWS, yes, sir. You got Python. You got Kubernetes. You're trying to learn all these things at once. And you're not able to retain any of it. You feel frustrated. You burn out. And then a year later comes, you're like, man, I'm still in the same spot. So I hope y'all just taking this as value of what we're saying because we see this all the time. Matter of fact, put the diamonds in the chat if this is valuable. I want to see if we're dropping gems right now. Let me see some diamonds in the chat if this is something that you really like.
Now, you are totally right. The thing is the market moves fast, but businesses move slow, right? When you get the businesses, they're going to have similar technology. 100% of businesses aren't AI right now, even though that's what it looks like. People are still adopting cloud. And I'll tell you, you were alluding to this. There are no silver bullets. I've had to tell people, I can't give you silver bullets. I can tell you how to go about this, how to pace yourself or the things you should learn. But there isn't just here's the easy path to victory. That just doesn't exist. And it's going to be different for every person.
And every person's journey that you look at is not going to be your journey. So you can't compare yourself to everybody else, right? If somebody, passed a certification and you're working on it, you can't look as I got to hurry up because I'm going to tell y'all the hard truth right now, right? Take this time to prepare yourself because I promise you, for most of you, there's no one at a company right now that's saying, hey, I'm just looking for Tom to pass this AWS certification and I'm going to hire them on the spot. They want to see how you solve problems. They want to see the journey. How do you handle this? And after time, if you start sharing your journey on LinkedIn, they're going to come to you and say, hey, man, I've been watching you for the last 4 or 5 months. I think you really got potential to be a great asset on the team. I'm going to keep watching you. I want to see how do you handle yourself and how do you handle some more complex environments and how you solve complex problems. But if we start seeing more of that, we're going to come in, we're going to holler at you. We're going to see you, and find you a spot on the team. So, take that right now, y'all. Write these notes down because we felt exactly how you felt. We've been through it before. So next question for you, John. We know mentoring is crucial in helping individuals navigate the ever-changing tech landscape. So can you tell us more about your mentoring, the experiences that you have and how they impacted your mentees, and what specific benefits have you observed from the mentorship relationship that you have with them?
Most of the time when I am mentoring or I take extra time with folks, I see them catch on much faster. I mean, that seems like an obvious thing, but it's amazing how much people don't spend time mentoring others who need it. Each place I've worked as an employee or as an independent consultant, I would generally take time to invest in a few people who seemed hungry and want to learn. And most of the time, it made my life easier in the short term because even though I had to invest a bit of extra time into them, they were able to pick up a lot of slack from me so that I could be more focused on other things or that I could get more done quickly because they were able to contribute. As far as being able to invest and show skill beyond technology, I think oftentimes people start to worry about a lot of things in companies, whether they're being impactful, whether they're working on cool things, whether they're learning enough, what are they going to do in their next job. And sometimes just coming in and talking to people and being a mentor that's been through so many different places gives them good space to talk, safely. I think people when they're growing or not sure how they're growing are kind of kept quiet, or their manager isn't investing in them, they'll stagnate. So sometimes when I spend time mentoring others, I often listen, but sometimes I try to give advice outside of tech as well, because I think people need, kind of holistic advice in their career.
Mm.
That's what I feel is important, and I feel that most people struggle with this from time to time, depending on how senior they are. I've mentored senior people too. Sometimes people hit plateaus, they're unsure what to do. Yeah, a common one is people that are older than I am that are not sure about getting into DevOps. They're too old for it, right? That's a common one I hear, and you got to kind of extinguish that. You got to be able to tell people that look at all the experience that you bring to the table, and you're getting into something and you're getting paid to think. It's not the tech, it's not the tools, it's the ability to think and reason and solve problems. That's what you're really doing, right? When you break it down like that, it kind of removes the fear from, oh my goodness, Kubernetes is such a huge lift, right? It's so impossible. I'll never get my head wrapped around it. But really, it's just about building the blocks of knowledge and being able to think your way through it. That's all it is.
I totally agree. And one thing that we have now, I don't know how a lot of you feel about it, but I think if used the right way, it could be a building block to accelerate your learning. We have Chat GPT as well, right? Where I think a lot of people use this AI tool for just push up a button answer, and I'm just going to give them that. But if we really use it to help break down and understand what we're trying to accomplish, it will help us understand and even communicate that to the customer even better when we're really focusing on finding a solution. And really, as John said too, I think a lot of companies should invest more into mentoring, especially juniors that come on, because what we've seen is some companies, like you said, even though technology moves fast, companies are slow, right? And then you have a person that works within that company that's gotten comfortable. Like, I don't need to learn anything. I'm cruising. I'm gonna do my job. I don't want to learn nothing else. I'm good where I'm at. And they've been there 2, 3 years. What happens is if you have a hungry junior that has the right mentorship, that person's gonna come in and blow the other peers out of the water because they're hungry. They've been invested into themselves and learning. So they created a study habit for learning new things in the last 6 months or a year, right? They've been practicing solving problems with advanced technology, and they might even have more hands-on opportunities doing that than some people have done in their roles. And then you get a great mentor that comes in and really just puts everything together for them mentally and show them how to think about solving problems at an enterprise scale or whatever the case may be. And now they're gone to the moon. And that's exactly what a lot of companies need to do, is just really invest in that type of talent as well as internal. But if you got that hungry individual that's passionate, that's bright eyed, bushy tailed, and like, this is what I love to do, and I never thought I would love it, but I just want more and more. I'm ready to help you solve problems. That's gonna be the person that's gonna be a superstar on your team. That's what I feel about it. So somebody put Chat GBT in the comments. Listen, use Chat GBT the right way. Use it to accelerate your learning, not use it. Don't. I've seen people who just take a block of code from Chat GBT and submit it like they wrote it. And I hear stories about this all the time too. And what happens is you have somebody that's experienced with what you said that you're experiencing, and they're going to ask you detailed questions about your lines of code or whatever you submitted. And if you can't talk about it, then they're going to know very quickly you didn't do jack shit about it. So I'll just excuse my language, but I just want to let y'all know. I see you about to say something, John.
Also, what happens when you apply it and it doesn't work?
Right.
What?
Right. What's your process of solving the problem?
Don't ever push something to prod that you don't know what it's going to do.
Right.
So ChatGPT is a great research tool. It is not where you go get your production Terraform and apply it.
Right. Use it to accelerate your learning, your thinking. Like, okay, I understand what the ask is of the company or what the ask is of this client. Let me find detail and just really understand what I can do about it. And then you take that and you build the solution, right? So, but on to the next question, because I know everybody's hungry for that knowledge, right? So, once again, in today's fast-paced tech industry, where skills and expectations are evolving rapidly, right? So how important is it for senior professionals to actively engage with the members, right? And I know we just talked about this, but what we haven't talked about is what are the potential consequences when there's a lack of senior involvement in the mentorship?
That's a great question. And there are a couple pitfalls here. First thing is the less collaboration there is between senior and junior, the more likely it's going to be a big vacuum when a senior person from the team leaves. One of the biggest benefits between pair programming from senior to junior is the senior person is going to get the time with the junior person to help them grow and code faster or build something faster. The other thing is it's cross-pollinating whatever is the tribal knowledge of that company, right? The reason we do it this way here is because X, or these are some complicated systems. I'm going to talk through it with you while we change this code, or whatever the reason is. It's giving that time between senior and junior to spread knowledge so that it actually creates more resiliency within the company. The other thing is it is creating teamwork and a bond between folks that are going to be able to work better, hopefully more in the future as well. The unfortunate thing that often happens is the difficult tasks get given to the senior members of the team, which handle it and ship it along, and the junior members get the really boring cruddy work that they can spin on. So you have this weird division of labor where the junior people struggle to get harder and harder tasks. The senior people kind of get all the big tasks and get burned out. And you can see that's just a recipe for disaster. A lot of times companies, make the mistake that if I assign 2 people to the task, I'm paying 2 people to do one person's job. Most of the time that's untrue. You're going to get better work out the other side because you have 2 eyes and 2 minds on task, and you're getting the chance for them to work together and cross-pollinate that learning, and also being able to spread the load so that the junior people can move faster. Because ideally, you'd want everybody to move as fast as the senior folks, right? And letting the junior people crawl their way to that or claw their way to that speed is much harder than bringing them and standing them up and giving them the tools so that they can run on their own.
Totally agree. And in this day of time with technology and information, we have to be willing, because a lot of people are not. So let's really get this out there where we have to understand, just because somebody is a senior member on that team and you're just getting there, don't mean they're going to be thrilled about mentoring you, right? Don't mean that they want to. Let's just put it like that. But in a perfect world, we have to be willing to take things that it took us years to learn and give it to somebody to help them learn it, whether it's hours, days, or even months, quickly, right? Something that it took us 3-4 years to really understand. We have to help and stand somebody up and help them understand it within months and fast track them and really give them the confidence too, because coming from somebody who's done it on their team, you can instill the confidence that they can do it. Because once again, if we go back to the mental part of it, right, they could be doing everything right, but in their mind, they don't know that because they don't have anybody really giving them feedback, or they don't have anybody really mentoring them. So their mind clicks on and says, you know what, I don't think I'm doing this right. It's only a matter of time for they fire me because I know absolutely nothing. All that shit comes into play and gets in the way as a roadblock of them being successful, literally because their mentors on the job or the senior level people on the job, senior engineers, haven't reached out or haven't checked on them or haven't really given that advice to help them understand how to stand on their own and how to build that confidence within as they're learning. So, real quick, if y'all got questions for John and I, put them in the comments right now. Um, I want to make sure y'all get y'all questions answered. I want to see some good ones too, because I know y'all feeling a certain type of way. Go ahead, put them in the chat. And if we're giving you some value, put the gems in the chat too. I want to see the gems because I know y'all taking home some notes today. All right. So as we wrap up, right? And as we see if there's some questions coming in, what final advice or words of encouragement would you give the individuals who may be feeling uncertain or really overwhelmed in their tech careers? And how can they really seek out and make the most of mentorship opportunities to navigate the professional journey successfully?
So a couple things. One thing I will say, I want to close out the last thought, and then I'll get to your question directly. Is I've come into three different, not one, but three different places that everybody who knew anything left. And since there was no mentoring, since there was no cross pollination, it was a massive headache to learn things, to have to be extra careful with applying, changing things so that you don't bring everything down. Those kinds of mistakes are real when management or teams don't believe in mentorship and really being there. And oftentimes the manager is not the mentor. It generally takes senior people or even journey level people to get involved and really be able to pick others up, right? But let's get to your final point. Take it from someone who's been around the block. I know a lot of you are hunting those certifications as well. Take it from someone who's got 17 different certs, that it doesn't really end. It's all about your journey and what is important to you and what you want to learn. Try not to think so hard about what differentiates me. Try to think about what do I want to learn, and how will I pace myself so I'll be able to learn this properly, be able to provide value, and not burn out. Burnout is what you're wanting to avoid. Obviously becoming obsolete is too, but as long as you stay hungry, you won't become obsolete. You'll find that the market shifts and you have to shift with it. I mean, even within the short period of time, now, you see these memes of DevOps is dead and what is an SRE, and now everything's platform engineering. These things kind of shift around, but guess what? People are still committing code. They're still managing infrastructure. They're still, managing containers and everything else. When you get intimidated by these changes, by this new technology, I got to learn this now. Instead of being intimidated, look at it as a challenge for yourself. No, you're not in a race with other people. You're in a race with how well you can do your job and how well you need to understand it. And if you need help, and when you get stuck or you feel intimidated, that's when it's time to reach out to a mentor and see if they can help you. See if they can help pick you up, maybe just give you that slight nudge to put you back on track. Mentors don't have to be someone that shows you how to use something. Sometimes they're just a coach or someone to help get you thinking about the problem in a different way. Because that is what you are, is you're a problem solver. If you're a DevOps engineer or SRE or cloud engineer, whatever you identify as, you are a problem solver, and you're there for your business to solve their problems in creative ways.
I couldn't agree more. And really, we have a question that comes on that's really piggybacks or segments into it. Let me show this real quick. So Afani said, advice for an entry-level engineer about to start a new role. How can they position themselves to be successfully first 6 months to a year? What do you think about that?
When you get there, so congratulations on starting a new role, by the way. But when you get there, you're going to learn what technology is there right off. If it's AWS, Python, and JavaScript, for instance, that's where I would dig in. I would start learning on I would take time during work to see if you can spend time learning, possibly from a mentor or a senior, and pick up how they do things there. If you need to spend time after hours to learn things, don't sprawl. Stay focused on what you want to learn and make it relevant to your job so that you can dig deeper right then. Also pace yourself. First 6 months to a year, that's a realistic jump, right? Try not to learn everything in the first 2 weeks, and try not
Mhm.
to force yourself to get as far as you can quick. Some of this technology takes a long time to learn. You need to pace yourself. But the good thing is where you're starting, whoever you're working with is going to tell you the things that they do there. So that means you know for now you can narrow your scope to right there. Don't worry about learning other new things while you're in this ramp up phase. Just learn what you need to know to be good at your job now. Once you got those things under your belt, then you can start looking at other horizons.
Yep, I agree. And one other thing too, I want to piggyback is saying, while you're learning what you need to know and what you need to learn based on their custom environments or whatever they have, right? One thing you could do is use your creativity to, if you're looking at things and oh, the way they're doing it here, we could do it here and save time or even save costs. Don't be afraid in the meetings to speak up and share your idea, right? Because a lot of people will not do that because they'll be afraid of saying the wrong thing or looking like they're dumb or whatever. And somebody's going to say, that was dumb. Why did you say that? Listen, share your ideas. It's so many directors and managers that talk to me and say, what we're looking for is people who are not afraid to share what they're thinking, and it could be very useful to us. So just make sure you're doing that, and make sure if you have ideas of the services that you're working with or how to make it better or create some automation to, expedite some of the team activities that you have to success, share those as well. If they don't use them, fine. But at least they know that you're all about improving the process, because that's what DevOps is about. Just, continuous improvement, and that's what you're doing. So we got a LinkedIn user here. It says, "How do I approach someone for mentorship when you are? How do you approach someone for mentorship when you're a new tech newbie? Is social media an okay platform to reach out to mentors if you don't have someone in your company?" What are your thoughts, John?
I think so. This is kind of a mixed bag, right? LinkedIn is a great place to find mentorship. I think there's also a couple platforms where mentors specifically go now, like Fiverr, and I believe there's a few others as well. Most are going to be paid. So I would say I would caution you on getting paid mentorship, especially as a new, a tech newbie. You can get a lot of passive mentorship as well, just following people on social media platforms that you respect and who kind of speak to you. If you find people who you really like, you can always reach out to them and ask them if you can get a little bit of their time, maybe 30 minutes every 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. Most people are willing to share it if they can. Um, it doesn't hurt. And if they say no, then you maybe you schedule, ask them if you can schedule for a less busy time, or reach back out to them later, or find someone else that you like to follow as well. Oftentimes in a company, when you're looking for mentorship, most most management looks really fondly upon that. So if you're having a hard time finding someone to help, kind of level you up internally there, it's there's nothing wrong with reaching out to your management team or even someone on another team and asking for some mentorship. Um, I have never seen where that is frowned upon, and most of the time you're going to get someone to volunteer to help you. So I do think that mentorship within a company is very good because you're going to get a lot of also very contextual mentorship for what you're doing, right? That's positive. But I also think that you should be open in looking for mentorship outside your company too, to get that unbiased approach, right? Sometimes that either the rubber duck or that sounding wall you can talk to that is not related to your work, and also they're safe, right? That if you say something, this is really bothering me, or I'm having this real big problem at work, they're a safe person to talk to because they're not signing your paycheck, they're not doing your eval, they're probably not on your sprint team, right? It's nice and safe. So social media is good. Just to recap, social media is good. I also think reaching out within your company is good. It shows a lot of initiative. It shows you want to grow and learn.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just like John said, it could be people out here that's putting out content that you may like, right? And it can help you be successful in your own terms over time. Just reach out, see, if you can, even if you can't get time, right? Ask permission to ask a question in the inbox, right? Whatever your pressing question is, you may be surprised about the answer, or you may be even surprised about the connection they'll be able to make as well, right? It's all about building relationships. It's all about networking. That's a important thing, especially for tech newbies who are looking for their first role, or somebody who's just trying to transition. It's all about just coming out of your bubble, saying hi, right? And really connecting and building that relationship. All right. So, for those of you who are looking for a community, I want you to join our Facebook group. The link is coming up right now. Facebook.com/groups/level up in tech. We want to make sure you just be around a community of folks that's just like you, that want to be successful just like you want to be successful. And we want to help you, reach the next level, even if you want to be successful in your own terms, or if you want to join a type of program that's going to push you to the next level. All right. And, we appreciate everybody that's coming on this live and really being engaged, asking questions, just dropping the comments, because we know this is a very important topic that a lot of people don't talk about in tech as well, especially the mental aspect of anxiety, imposter syndrome, all these things that we all feel that people are afraid to talk about, and how these things really are roadblocks to us taking the next step, And I want to thank John for coming on with his fantastic background that looked like all I just want to do is just jump and just kind of, have the little parachute on my back and just float through all of that just to watch the beautiful scenery. I appreciate you, brother, for coming on. Once again, put the JFs in the chat if this was super valuable for y'all, and make sure y'all reach out to John. Hey, do we have John's link? Or John, can you put your LinkedIn link in there so people could connect with you? And connect with John right now on LinkedIn. Hit that connect button and send him a message about how valuable this live and his words were to you today and being successful in your career. Let's see it go up here. Make sure we get it up before we peace out. Yep, I want to see the JFs. Put the JFs. Not JS, Timmy. JF.
I think I posted it to the private chat. I don't know if you're able to snag that.
Let me see. Let's see. We don't have it yet. Hold on. I'm gonna post it in there. Don't worry. I got it right here. I should have just posted it. So this is John's link. So it won't let me. Why it won't let me post the well, it won't let me comment. Give me 1 second. Let's see. It won't let me. Oh, there we go. It's on there. So thanks, Mel. Mel in the background holding it down for everybody. Thank you, Mel. I didn't even see it. I'm sitting there trying to concentrate on pasting in the comments. Make sure you use that link to connect with John right now. Y'all type that link in, copy that link to the notes, whatever you got to do, use it right now. John Fahl. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. And I appreciate no, man, it's an honor to have you, and appreciate everybody that's coming on here right now. Make sure you join next week's live as well. I want to appreciate, I think, and appreciate Mel in the background. For people who don't see, Mel is the community content strategist, is hold everything down for us. And matter of fact, I'm gonna bring her on right. She don't want to come to the screen. No, she said no, don't bring it to the screen. Sorry. I want to just thank you, Mel. I want to show everybody that we appreciate you. She holds everything down. And once again, let's keep leveling up in tech for 2023. My name is Broadus. That's John Fahl, and we out of here. See y'all later.